Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our power, and the power of his Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000 at the tabernacle of David, which will be the new government here on earth to rule over all the nations in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven will be here on earth, all right, as it is promised in the Bible, set up by who the world fraudulently and falsely calls JC. All right, his name is Yahushai. All right, and to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black only thing, for the Israelites are scattered among all people. That's why the Lord is coming back to gather them up, all right, and set his men, the 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes, the 144,000, as the new ruling government on earth as it is in heaven, fulfilling the Lord's prayer. On earth as it is in heaven. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. Time is short. E is moving quickly because he know he have but a short time. So the oppression has begun. They've been rounding up and attacking, brown Israelites here in Chicago today. I saw some pretty sad events where they were snatching up, breaking up families, catching them in parking lots. All right, so I'm going to share some things. Matter of fact, let me read this scripture. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of earth. See, because they haven't been waiting for this. Michael been waiting to come down here and wreck shop and tear this place up. He's been pacing back and forth. Like that fighter in the cage that can't wait to get at his opponent that's been running his mouth. Okay, because they're starting to put their hands on the Lord's people, man. All right. But it says, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Esau knows that his time is up. All right. So he's getting ready to unleash all his totalitarian control, all his devices, his digital. He's basically activated the stormtroopers. ICE was the tip of the spear for his new imperial army, which that operate outside the law of the land, outside of the Constitution. All right, which a lot of these generals swore to uphold and are ready to fight to uphold. There is a civil war coming. You best believe it. And Jacob's trouble is close at hand. Let me get this. This is Jeremiah 30:7. And I also like to say too, PSA, if any of you, you people that believe that the rapture has been rescheduled to whatever date in October he said, and you want to give away your cars and your gold, your silver, your belongings, we here at Great Millstone will take your stuff. All right, if you want to give it away. All right. Now, Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So there's no way out of this except through the Lord. And there's no way out of this unless these bad things happen. The craziness and the chaos has to happen. So it's like, Esau, what do you do? It don't look like they're going to be holding back too much longer. So I'm going to play some videos. Matter of fact, let me play a few minutes of this one. A little less than 3 minutes of this video. It's called General Lee's Hegseth speech drops instant bomb. All right. That's the title of this video, and it's called Occupy Democrats. So that's the name of the channel. You can see the name of the video, and the channel is on at the bottom of the screen there. But here we go.
Democrats, and there's a common phrase in highly competitive sports is act like you've been there before, which is kind of the difference between silent strength and overcompensation. Or
yeah, because when you got these loudmouth, Edomites that talk all tough, or anyone for that matter, that little Pete punk, never thrown a punch in his life, and never taken a punch, and I guarantee you he couldn't take one. Right, talking all tough, right, all bark and no bite, man.
Calm confidence versus demanding respect. And in this breaking story, that's the exact problem that Donald Trump has had his entire life. And then what he does is he implores and actually employs other people who have the same problem. Bravado over baseline strength. And what you're going to see in this breaking story is going to blow your mind because, of course, Trump spoke earlier with the generals and had his boy from the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, by his side. And right off the bat, Trump started out by basically threatening a room full of generals.
I've never walked into a room so silent before. This is very... Oh, don't laugh. You're not allowed to do that.
And then Hegseth came in and added to it.
Maximum lethality and authority for warfighters.
You know what? Just have a good time. And if you want to applaud, you applaud. And if you want to do anything you want, you can do anything you want.
No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense.
And when it's all said and done, his boy Pete Hegseth comes across as if he's about to lead the charge in World War I or World War II.
We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country.
And see, the problem is he's talking about American citizens. He's talking about the people of the country, and which are posing no threat like that. Trying to send the military to cities. Crime is down. There's always going to be crime, no matter where you live. But the fact of the matter is that the things that they're saying, they're trying to create a false narrative. Crime is way down in all major cities, including Chicago. All right, and I don't think there's a place in America that's wilder than Chicago. All right, and crime is down here. Nobody got no jobs or money to do no crime. I guess it takes money. Criminals gotta, look. You're robbing people that ain't got nothing. They don't have any damn thing. Okay.
Trump even informed the media ahead of time. This is what his attitude was.
I'm going to be meeting with generals and with admirals and with leaders. And if I don't like somebody, I'm going to fire him right on the spot.
And as Donald does, he threatens your livelihood, just like Jimmy Kimmel. No different.
And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank. There goes your future.
The new compass heading is clear. Out with the Shirellis, the Mackenzies, and the Millies, and in with the Stockdales, the Schwarzkopfs, and the Pattons.
And oh, by the way, the no more Millies, he's talking about this amazing general.
And their unrelenting devotion to the Constitution of the United States, a moral North Star for all of us in uniform. It is that document that gives purpose to our service, and we in uniform are willing to die to pass it on to the next generation. In it are the ideas and the values that make up this experiment called the United States of America.
Right, so he said they're ready to die to uphold the Constitution. You have a regime, you have a president and his staff and everyone that's around, including the people that he works for, Bibi Milkowski, all right, Milakovsky, that are trampling over the Constitution. All right, I'm going to play a couple of these videos, all right, and show you how unconstitutional that ICE is operating his Gestapo, his stormtroopers, because that's exactly what they are. And they're unqualified to do police work because they're just bringing in people. And then what's really sad and what angers me about the whole thing is that Jake is actually, involved in this. You got, yeah. But anyway, here we go.
Hey, y'all. I really need y'all to listen to me, please. They have an app. ICE has an app. And it is facial recognition. And they just pointed at you on the street now. They just pointed at you. And it tells them if your driver's license isn't standing. If you're driving without your driver's license. Just in a fucking grocery store, they can walk up to you in a fucking grocery store and say, how'd you get here? How'd you get here? Do y'all not get that? ICE is beta testing the fucking app. ICE is walking up to humans in cars and shoving their phones in their faces and letting it scan their face to determine if they are in the States legally or not. And if y'all think that it's gonna fucking stop when all the illegal humans leave the country, you're fucking idiots. You're
right.
Goddamn stupid. They're gonna be doing. This is our new normal. Our new normal.
That's the
will
lunch.
Be us just sitting, hanging out, drinking coffee at Starbucks, and somebody's gonna
look. They're using this whole immigration thing with ICE. This is a catalyst. Why do you think they left them here? This was the plan the whole time. This was the plan the whole time. You and I see it clear as day now. They let them flood in. You create the problem and then you come with the solution. Trump promised that he would get rid of them, but at the same time, he promised that he would stop all the wars, that he would never go digital. And everything that Trump said he wasn't going to do, he's going to do. And now with border security, he's now been able to activate this army. And like she said, they're not going to stop.
walk up to you, scan your fucking face, and say, how did you get here? You're not allowed to drive. We're done. We're fucking done. They now have eliminated probable cause. Probable cause is null and void now. They eliminated probable cause with this fucking app. They have eliminated the basis of our Constitution.
Yep.
We're fucking done, people. This is it. This app, that's the ball game. And it's already done. It's already been built, and it's fucking being beta tested by ICE. No, people. Those who were leaving and left, they got out just in time. I think we're fucking stuck here.
She's really scared. See, they have no hope.
Having an app that can scan you at any moment in time is just to be a nightmare. You're just gonna be sitting there at a lunch meeting, and somebody's gonna walk up to you, scan your fucking face, and say, "Oh, you're $12,000 behind in your child support. I'm arresting you."
Mm-hmm.
That's our fucking future now, people. Have the day you fucking voted for.
Yeah, so this, it's really looking bad for the average Babylonian. It's not looking good at all. All right, let me this is the people are going to resist this. All right. This is Isaiah 19:1, and it reads, "The burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." These Edomites are getting ready to pew-pew each other, and they're going to enjoy pew-pewing you so-called blacks and Hispanics and natives while they're doing it. Two birds with one stone. They can get rid of their so-called enemy, their nigger-loving, spigger-loving, savage loving, whatever they want to call them. All the race traders, all you Edomite women that's pregnant and married to brown men, no matter what, because you Edomite women are married to Arabs and men from India and Negroes and Hispanics. Them good old boys, that you're gonna be useless to them. Esau's mad about that too. Unless they're Edomite with a whole lot of excess expendable income, they're not really getting women like that. And even still, the women still step out with them because, let's just be honest about it. Them Edomite women, man, those pale women, they like BBC, man. And that's just a fact. And that's Esau's fault because you're the one that pushed them to be independent and not to need you and not to want a man and all this mess. And now, and then they're making money. Now they don't need you anymore. So they just go out and get what they want. And that's what happens. They go find Tyrone and Jerome, Jose and Hector. That's what they do. All right. This is Amos 5 and 11. And 10. And they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and abhor him that speaketh uprightly, because a lot of this policy and a lot of these things that they're doing is really being done to silence us. But they can't come right out and say that directly, because then it would give us even more of an audience than what we already have. All right, because they try to downplay this truth and downplay the message of the Bible being brought out by the prophets, which when you actually read it and cross-examine it with precepts, if you don't know what that means, then that means you don't really know or understand the Bible. All right, and that's the problem. Because if we were not telling the truth, they would just laugh and dismiss but the fact of the matter is we are telling the truth. That's the problem. This so-called, black Hebrew Israelites, as they love to call us, when none of us are black. Just like none of them are white, as you've seen on this screen, a whole lot of pale red skin, a whole lot. And the first came out red all over, a whole lot of Edomites. All right. They duck and dodge that name. So let's play, I'm going through this list of intel that my beloved on the spot reporter April O'Neil sent me. But here we go.
For a quick reaction force that can help quell civil disturbances. So this is going to be a big thing for the people in this room because it's the enemy from within.
That was Donald Trump today in front of 800 military leaders, silent. That silence is important. I'll get to that later. Telling them that they're going to have to attack American civilians on American soil. Calling those civilians the enemy from within. I'm the enemy from within. If you're watching this, you're probably the enemy from within too. What Donald Trump asked those military leaders to do is shred the Constitution, violate their oath to honor the Constitution. No wonder they weren't clapping. Pete Hegseth.
Now you heard what this general said. General Milley said he's ready to die to uphold this Constitution. He's ready to fight and die for it. And I'm willing to bet all these Army, all these Army and Marines that have served with and under him are ready to do the same.
Also spoke at this meeting. What did he want?
We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement.
Those stupid rules of engagement, they have a name. They're called the Geneva Conventions. We've signed on to them again and again and again. Why? Because we've committed ourselves to not committing war crimes. No wonder the military sat silent. What is Trump demanding of his military? Let's be honest, war on the streets. He calls it war. War on our own. He wants to use it to stifle dissent, to stifle me. Probably you too. What is Hegseth demanding? Clean shaven, mostly for racial, talk to black men about beards, and religious, talk to non-Christian men about beards. Reasons
See,
to be trained like
clean shaven, which is, and this is supposed to be a Christian organization. And the Bible actually demands that men wear their beards. That's why when you look at the artifacts, even though they lie about most of them, and they whitewash the biblical history, they still, one truth that they do tell you, they always show you the pictures of the Lord, the disciples, and the men of that time as to wearing beards. Only the Edomites, the Romans, shaved their faces. It's because it's in Esau's blood and his DNA and his spirit to do everything opposite of what's right, or what the Bible says. Okay? And so Esau is on that, he's on that Wisdom of Solomon 2 mode. All right, which I'm gonna read that. Let me let him finish. Only about a minute left of his video. Here we go.
with arms to commit war crimes. Do you want that? I didn't think so. What Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth promoted to its military today was a military state that stifles dissent through its military and abroad is reviled by the rest of the world for its barbarism. There are two things standing in the way of Trump and Hegseth's dictator dreams. One is the military that they address today. Will they violate their oath? Their silence today gives me a little bit of hope that they won't. And two, will we stand in the way through mass demonstrations? There's going to be one October 18th, through mass strikes if necessary, through mass civil disobedience if necessary. That's how other countries beat back dictatorships. We have an emerging dictatorship. Are we ready? I am. I hope you are too.
Look, Second Esdras, right now the people in Italy are fighting against their government because they found out that the Democrats and Republicans, they're the whatever they call theirs, were working together against the people and robbing the people blind. Same thing they're doing over here. And they're over there fighting against their government. France, Nepal, people in the streets. Okay? The digital thing has reached Canada now. And they're probably going to save America for last because, the pew-pews. All right? But they're coming down with totalitarian, dystopian type control on the people. That app that they just point at you and, and if anything that pops up, social credit score. All right? Traffic tickets, warrant, do you have a warrant? All right. If you owe, child support, what's your driver's license status? How did you get here? How did you get to the store? Did you drive here? I mean, just illegal stops, searches, and seizures. They're just completely overstepping and trampling on the law of the land. But this is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 1. And it reads, for the ungodly said, reasoning within themselves, but not outright. Our life is short and tedious, and the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave, which is a lie. They just don't want to acknowledge it. We know that the Lord did. For we are born at all adventure. Makes me think about Christmas adventurer. I gotta, in Advent, in that definition, I gotta, the elder sent it to me. I got a lesson to do. Remember that Christmas adventurer. I got something I want to bring out. But it says, we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving up of our hearts, with which being extinguished, our bodies shall be turned to ashes, and our spirits shall vanish as the soft air. And our names shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the face of a cloud, and shall be dispersed in a mist that is driven away with the beam of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. See, because these are ungodly people who just don't want to acknowledge the truth of the Bible. And everyone returns. Every 3-4 generations, you return to the flesh. Regeneration, reincarnation, whichever one you want to choose. Up to the 3rd and 4th generation, all of us repeat. It's a recycle. That's why history repeats itself, because the same people keep coming back. Verse 6. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures as in our youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us by. All right. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this. All right, because you got to remember, their blessing was to get the best parts of the earth until they were to go down. That was a blessing that they got from their forefather Isaac. So you will have the fatness of the earth, you would live by the sword. Which brings us to the next scripture, next verse. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found nothing worth. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending of the law, and objective to our infamy and the transgressions of our education. We upbraideth him, meaning we cussed them out in the streets. We exposed them. All right. That's literally what upbraid means, when you begin to speak rudely and loudly to or about someone. All right. Roughly. Okay. Let's go to 2 Ezra 9, because this is where we are. The Lord is starting to visit this world. All these things are happening, man. And like second Ezra is it is at the door. All right. 2 Ezra 15 and 16 chapters at the door, boy. We're about to have chaos in America, chaos worldwide. This is 2 Ezra 9 and verse 1. And it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, Salakia, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that's been happening like never before in history, as of lately. All right. Crazy weather patterns. Signs in the stars and the moon. Then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. The end is happening. Literally, we are living in the last moments of the last days. Even so, the times of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. Like I said, all the blood moons, all the eclipses, all these things that keep happening, the crazy earthquakes, the firestorms. All right. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. So those who believe on the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, they believe on the word of the Bible, which is the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. He is that word. And the word became flesh. And all right, the word was there in the beginning. Okay. it says, whereby ye shall, I just read 7 again. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land with my borders, and I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So, you know, that's First Ezra. You know, not First Ezra, but Ephesians, the first chapter. Those who are predetermined, predestined, that were there in the beginning. All right, from the beginning of the world, the elect, before they got sent down here to, you know, those are the giants, you know, that fell. The Israelites became men. They were called the sons of God before they were called the Israelites. All right. That's what it is. The Israelites were called the sons of gods before they were called the Israelites. Okay. That's why it says that, matter of fact, let's get that in Psalms just to solidify that. Psalms, I think it's 83 or 86, 82 and 6. Yep. Psalms 82 and 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High. All right. Yep. But it says we would die like men. And now we're getting to the point where death is about to be overcome. We're going to be saved from those said perils, Lord's will, that we be among that number. All right. But it's going to happen. And there's nothing that Esau can do to save himself. All right. America is done. It's already written. So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Stay prayed up, buckle up. The ride is about to get real bumpy, y'all. Shalom, Abba Babal.